Elegy for a Dead Soldier by Karl Shapiro. 1. A white sheet on the tailgate of a truck becomes an altar. 2 small candlesticks sputter at each side of the crucifix, laid round with flowers brighter than the blood. Red as the red of our apocalypse, hibiscus that a marching man will pluck to stick into his rifle or his hat. And great blue morning glories, pale as lips that shall no longer taste, or kiss, or swear. The wind begins a low Magnificat. The chaplain chats. The palm trees swirl their hair. The columns come together through the mud. 2. We too are ashes as we watch and hear the psalm, the sorrow, and the simple praise of one whose promised thoughts of other days were such as ours, but now wholly destroyed. The service record of his youth wiped out, his dream dispersed by shot, must disappear. What can we feel but wonder at a loss that seems to point at nothing but the doubt which flirts our sense of luck into the ditch? Reader of Paul, who prays beside this fosse, shall we believe our eyes or legends rich with glory and rebirth beyond the void? 3. For this comrade is dead, dead in the war, a young man out of millions yet to live, one cut away from all that war can give, freedom of self and peace to wander free. Who mourns in all this sober multitude? Who did not feel the bite of it before the bullet found its aim? This worthy flesh, this boy, laid in a coffin and reviewed, who has not wrapped himself in this same flag, heard the light fall of dirt, his wound still fresh, felt his eyes closed, and heard the distant brag of the last folly of humanity. 4. By chance, I saw him die, stretched on the ground, a tattooed arm lifted to take the blood of someone else, sealed in a tin. I stood during the last delirium that stays the intelligence a tiny moment more, and then the strangulation, the last sound. The end was sudden, like a foolish play, a stupid fool slamming a foolish door, that absurd catastrophe half prearranged, and all the decisive things still left to say. So we disbanded angrier and unchanged, sick with the utter silence of dispraise. 5. We ask for no statistics of the killed, for nothing political impinges on this single casualty, or all of those gone, missing or healing, sinking or dispersed. Hundreds of thousands counted, millions lost. More than an accident and less than willed is every fall. And this one, like the rest. However, others calculate the cost. To us, the final aggregate is one. One with a name, one transferred to the blessed. And though another stoops and takes the gun, we cannot add the second to the first. 6. I would not speak for him who could not speak, unless my fear were true. He was not wronged. He knew to which decision he belonged, but let it choose itself, ripe in instinct, neither the victim nor the volunteer. He followed, and the leaders could not seek beyond the followers. Much of this he knew. The journey was a detour that would steer into the Lincoln Highway of a land remorselessly improved, excited, new. And that was what he wanted. He had planned to earn and drive, he and the world had winked. 7. No history deceived him, for he knew little of times and armies not his own. He never felt that peace was but a loan, had never questioned the idea of gain. Beyond the headlines once or twice he saw the gathering of a power by the few, but could not tell their names. He cast his vote, distrusting all the elected, but not the law. He laughed at socialism, on mourning pour les industriels. He shed his coat, and not for brotherhood, but for his pay. To him, the red flag marked the sewer main. 8. Above all else, he loathed the homily, the slogan, and the ad. He paid his bill, but not for congressmen at Bunker Hill. Ideals were few, and those there were not made for conversation. He belonged to church, but never spoke of God. The Christmas tree, the Easter egg, baptism, he observed, never denied the preacher on his perch, and would not sign resolve that or whereas. Softness he had, and hours, and nights reserved for thinking, dressing, dancing to the jazz. His laugh was real. His manners were homemade. 9. Of all men, poverty pursued him least. He was ashamed of all the down and out, spurned the panhandler like an uneasy doubt, and saw the unemployed as a vague mass, incapable of hunger or revolt. He hated other races, south or east, and shoved them to the margin of his mind. He could recall the justice of the colt, take interest in a gang war like a game. His ancestry was somewhere far behind, and left him only his peculiar name. Doors opened, and he recognized no class. 10. His children would have known a heritage, just or unjust, the richest in the world, the quantum of all art and science curled in the horn of plenty, bursting from the horn. A people bathed in honey, Paris come, Vienna transferred with the highest wage, a world's fair spread to Phoenix, Jacksonville, Earth's capital, the new Byzantium. Kingdom of man, who knows, hollow or firm? No man can ever prophesy until out of our death some undiscovered germ, whole toleration or pure peace is born. 11. The time to mourn is short, that best becomes the military dead. We lift and fold the flag, lay bare the coffin with its written tag, and march away. Behind 4 others wait to lift the box, the heaviest of loads. The anesthetic afternoon benumbs, sickens our senses, forces back our talk. We know that others on tomorrow's roads will fall, ourselves perhaps, the man beside, over the world that threatened all who walk. And could we mark the grave of him who died, we would write this beneath his name and date. Epitaph. Under this wooden cross there lies a Christian killed in battle. You who read, remember that this stranger died in pain, and passing here, if you can lift your eyes upon a peace kept by a human creed, know that one soldier has not died in vain.